Okay. So now that we've got a canine unit on the scene, did they conduct an inspection with the narcotic dog?
I'm not sure if they did indeed conduct, because remember at that stage I was still not on scene. But yeah, I was not on scene, so I cannot really comment on if they did the inspection, yes or no.
Should they have?
It would have been a good idea.
Yes.
Yes.
Because that's the point of having a narcotic dog, is to at least at a preliminary level establish whether the crime scene you're dealing with is one involving drugs.
Yeah, and search for other drugs that was not maybe the ones that were falling out of the container.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, it's possible that there might have been more at the back of the container.
Indeed, correct, Commissioners, yeah.
Okay, so I just want to know whether you are aware that there are allegations, which I'm sure you're aware of because you've been doing the investigation. There were allegations by several members at the scene that General Khan had prevented the canine unit from conducting the inspection.
I cannot comment on that because, again, I was not there at that stage. I didn't specifically hear that. But, and again, at the time I arrived at the crime scene, General Khan was no longer on the crime scene.
Okay. But you confirm that the canine unit should have been permitted to do an inspection?
It's always a good idea, yes, yeah. Commissioners.
Thanks. So then you can now go to 46.10.
Later, DPCI members went to the scene, including members that I had instructed to attend to the scene. Pursuant to my conversation with General Katwa, excuse me, as set out in my main affidavit, the scene was contained with many people, in brackets police and civilian, in order in and around the scene.
I think you said contained instead of contaminated.
The scene was, thank you, Commissioner, I appreciate. The scene was contaminated. There was way too many people at the crime scene, Commissioner, so yeah, it was indeed contaminated by too many people, police and civilian, in and around the scene.
Okay, so you say pursuant to your conversation with General Kadwa, he instructed you to attend the scene. It was General Kadwa who instructed you to attend the scene.
Commissioners, that's indeed correct. He phoned me, my original statement also indicated that he phoned me around 11 o'clock to indicate that there was a major drug crime scene that he wanted me and my team to attend to. And as I indicated in my original statement, I was then en route to a meeting in Midrand. I informed him of such, and I then gave my 2IC at the time it was Lieutenant Colonel Ludik. I gave him an instruction to phone the General, get the details, and activate the standby section of the SANEP team at that stage.
We'll come back to that.
Thank you,
to your arrival and the call. I just for now want to establish that it was General Kadwa, and it was General Khan who called General Kadwa to the scene in the first place.
I was informed like that by General Kadwa, yes.
Okay, thank you. So you say then the scene was contaminated with many people, and you say police and civilians. How is it that civilians would have access to a crime scene? Was it not cordoned off?
A very small portion of, when I arrived, a very small portion of the scene was cordoned off. So the only piece that was cordoned off was the black bakkie standing next to the truck with the container on the back. That was the only portion that was cordoned off. But it is advisable to make quite a substantial cordoning around a scene like that.
In fact, if I could take you to the national instruction, which is included in the exhibit file, Chair, it's CJC 219. And if you could go specifically to page 139.
I am there.
This is under a section of the national instruction called the controlling phase and what the first responders should do. But 11 subsection 3 says that the first responder must secure and protect the crime scene by A, establishing an inner cordon around the perimeter of the crime scene, as well as an outer cordon around the inner cordon to enable members to perform their tasks within the inner cordon. Now, can you just put, because this crime scene has, as I understand it, the immediate crime scene is where the drugs fall off the container.
Indeed, Commissioners.
And then there's a whole area around it, including the truck itself and the immediate vicinity, the outside the warehouse. That would be also need to be cordoned off. Can you help us to understand whether this was complied with, an inner and an outer cordon?
To an extent, the inner cordon was complied with, but the outer cordon definitely not.
What would have been the outer cordon?
As I indicated, Commissioners, the outer cordon would be a little bit of a wider area because it's like, certain people with specific taskings would be allowed in the inner cordon, whereas other people with other taskings, maybe just taking statements and the like, would be in the outer cordon.
So, in fact, maybe what would help is if we look at the sketch plan
Yes.
of the scene. Let's have a look at that. And it's attached to Officer Wood's statement. So that would be CJC 207. It's at page 21.
23.
The sketch plan is at 23, but if we could just start at 21.
My apologies.
Colonel. It's a statement of Warrant Officer Wood.
Apologies.
Can you just tell us who she is?
Warrant Officer Wood at that time was the standby member for LCRC, the Local Criminal Record Center, for that specific area.
So, again, the Commission has heard a little bit about the Local Criminal Record Center and the importance of the LCRC in crime scene management. So this is an important person to arrive on the scene, right?
Absolutely, to assist with photographs and fingerprints and the like. Yes, Commissioners.
And if you see at paragraph 4, she says, in fact, if you could just read paragraph 4 into the record.
On 2021-0709 at 11:45, due to a request of Warrant Officer Rikhotso, I attended an alleged crime scene, an alleged scene of crime at Omena Park, Aerodrome Drive, Aeroton.
Okay. Now, when I read this paragraph, I read it as saying that at 11:45, which was as a result of the request of Officer Rikhotso, she attended the scene, so that she was there at 11:45. What is your comment on that?
My comment, Commissioners, would be as follows. When I arrived at the crime scene, one of the things that the investigating officer, Captain Sebola at that time, Captain, requested me was to find out what the delay was in LCRC's